What is happening, everyone? It's your boy Nick Nielsen back with another episode of Fireside Yankees, and I am joined by a special guest once more for the second time on the channel, the one, the only Eli Fishman, the Somerset Patriots' very own Swiss Army knife. Eli, how are you doing today, my friend? And thank you once again for joining Fireside Yankees.
I'm doing pretty well. Looking forward to chopping it up, talking some baseball, talking some Yanks prospect as always, and appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, Eli. You are the man, the myth, the legend, doing the Lord's work over there at Somerset. I guess what I kind of wanted to dive into today a little bit was discussing the Patriots' overall season outlook, how you're feeling about the season. We're already, what, I believe 4 games into the season, yeah?
Yep. Yep. 4 games in.
So we'll kind of dive into that a little bit. Some guys that you're excited about watching this season, some guys that have caught your eye already, as well as some potential guys from High A that could be moving up, or maybe even some guys from Low A that you think could be moving up to Double A this season. So I guess to kind of dive right into this episode, because I know you're a busy guy, what are some expectations this season for the Somerset Patriots that have been kind of set around the clubhouse by players, by personnel? What are you thinking about this season outlook so far?
The word win. That's going to be a common theme throughout this Patriots season. It was last year, obviously, breaking team records in pretty much every category, winning the 2022 Eastern League Championship on a no-hitter, by the way, by Randy Vasquez and Carson Coleman combining for that in the final game of the championship series. Jason Dominguez with homers from both sides of the plate. And winning is the standard of the Yankee system. Winning is the standard of the New York Yankees, and that goes all the way down through the pipeline as well. And obviously, you want to develop, make it up to the big leagues. But the standard in the Somerset Patriots clubhouse is win. This is a team that it's a gritty, fun team with a lot of power. There's going to be a lot of home runs this season, some big time arms. I mean, you look at that 1, 2, 3 in the rotation: Will Warren, Richard Fitz, Clayton Beater. That rivals any 1, 2, 3 in minor league baseball at the moment. And as I said, this is going to be a team that's going to win a lot of games. On game one, they were down in the seventh inning. Tyler Hardman with the go-ahead home run. Just last night in Binghamton, they were down. There was one out in the top of the ninth, or it was the top of the ninth inning. And the Patriots were down by 3, and they came back. Anthony Siegler with an RBI single, got one run in, and then Tyler Hardman with I think it was a 3-run homer. Or no, sorry. It was Carlos Narvaez with the 3-run homer, and then Delvin Perez with a solo homer. Tyler Hardman hit his second homer of the game of the season earlier in that game, and he's had 2 clutch homers that have his homer tied it up early in the game, tying it at 2. So this is a team that's going to battle, out 1 through 27, and they've been fun to watch through 4 games. Looking forward to the rest of the season.
That's awesome, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that former Cardinals top prospect Delvin
Yep.
Perez is with the Yankees now. I remember we signed him a little bit ago. That's pretty sick that he's balling at Double A. That's really cool to see. I always remember when I was a kid and the Cardinals brought him over and he was like I think 17 or 18 when they signed him. Maybe he was even 16. And the dude just has an insane glove, some great speed, good bat to ball skills as well. But the Patriots last year, like you said, they won the championship. So you said it's all about winning right now. Are there any guys that you've kind of been talking to so far this season that weren't on the team last year that are feeling like this is like the next big step in their career towards something potentially bigger and greater than themselves?
A lot of guys, and that's definitely the camaraderie around the clubhouse. I know on media day, we talked to Richard Fitz, who was our opening day starter, Yankees number 11 prospect, who had a great year after promotion to Hudson Valley last year. Only 5 starts in High A, and he was our opening day starter in Somerset this year, climbing up the prospect rank. So he's been exciting to watch. On his opening, media day, he talked about how much he's looking forward to and how fun it is, coming back to a team that has that winning experience, loves to win, and such a talented roster with a very good group of guys, a great camaraderie, a lot of fun this team has. And even that group of Jason Dominguez, Tyler Hardman, who came over at the very end of the season, promoted from High A. And Trey Sweeney as well. Those 3 were only in Somerset for the last week of the season, this final 6-game series, and then the playoffs as well. So they only really got a little bit of a taste of Double A. which obviously ended with a championship in less than 2 weeks in a Patriots uniform. So all those three guys in their press conferences before the season as well, talking about how great it is coming back to a team you're familiar with, you had that experience. You saw the pinnacle of the team, the pinnacle of the franchise, a championship, the fans, the celebration, the trophy, the ring,
Mhm.
and now you get to do that for a whole season.
Yeah, they get to put in their work and their so that way they can earn their flowers too, so they don't feel like they just joined at the end and we're like, "Oh,
Exactly.
sick, we hopped on the train and we got to
Exactly.
reach the final station. That's the dream." But I guess you mentioned Jason Dominguez is there now, and for a lot of our viewers out there, they may not have known that Jason Dominguez started the year off at Double A. He did. What is that like seeing the Martian every day basically at camp there, playing, practicing? The video that the Patriots posted yesterday, I think, or the day before, where he was like handing out popcorn to
Yep.
everyone. Are the vibes just elite with the Martian, or are the vibes elite with the Martian?
The vibes are elite with the Martian, most definitely. I mean, he's 20 years old. Like, um, how old are you?
I'm 23, Eli. Don't put me on the spot like this.
Apologize to do it to you, but I mean, we're kids. He's a kid. He's 20 years old. So one of my favorite things about this game of baseball and being in the position I am as a broadcaster, as media, working with these teams, it's this is not this is a game. This is a kid's game that kids are fortunate enough to play. Like Jason Dominguez, who's 20 years old in Double A, he might have almost 200,000 followers on Instagram. Have signed for $5 million. So much pressure and a lot of eyes on him, but he's just a kid. When you walk to the ballpark, he's it's almost like he's just another one of the guys, and he totally is. He has that big smile that puts a smile on everyone's face. And it's definitely really really fun to see him at the ballpark every day, and what a special talent he is on the field as well. But mainly what he brings to the clubhouse, the locker room, the music he plays, the smile he puts on everyone's face. It's like a kid in the candy store when Jason Dominguez is walking around the dugout, and you saw it in that video that you mentioned. Handing out the popcorn, has a lot of fun always.
Yeah, the dude just looks like he's happy to be there. He reminds me so much of
He
Oswaldo
is.
Cabrera on the Major League roster, and Oswaldo had the quote the other day where he's like, "You just gotta, like, enjoy life, man." That
Yep.
was his quote about playing baseball for the Yankees. Like, you just gotta enjoy it while it lasts. You never know, one day baseball may just be shut down entirely, but you gotta keep having fun while you can. Before I kinda ask you another question, I wanna give a little update on our boy, Big Cheese, Elijah Dunham. He is doing quite well at AAA, batting 333 over 36 at bats with an 844 OPS. Hasn't gotten his first dinger yet, but I know you're a big cheese guy like myself, so I
Yes.
wanted to let you know he is balling at the next level.
Oh, I've
And
seen.
a
I've
call up
seen.
could be there, baby. You never know. A call up could be in his future. I'm holding out hope. Um, the other guy I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned as well, was Anthony Siegler. How has Anthony Siegler's preparation going into this season been different than last year's and the years in the past? He's a former first round pick, has a lot to prove, and a lot of people know that he still has a very high ceiling. So, what's it like been seeing him be able to work through the motions and get comfortable behind the plate?
It's been great to see Siegler's progression. I mean, you mentioned a former first round pick, but in the first 4 games of Anthony Siegler's career, he didn't play 100 games between those 4 seasons because of COVID and because of injuries, being held back in extended spring training. 2021 was really his first full season, and then 2022 was really his first full season experience, where he was started the season in started the season in Tampa rather, getting the promotion to Hudson Valley. And throughout the season, I mean, he had an OBP over 400 the entire year. He finished the year with more walks than he did strikeouts, showcasing the power, the pop at times from both sides of the plate as well. Has made some great progression behind the plate, especially in the blocking category and the receiving. I know Aaron Boone, during a couple of press conferences at Yankees big league camp, gave some props there to Siegler, and he's going to have some real playing opportunities at Double A level. Rovert's down with an injury, Bro's down with an injury, Wells is down with an injury. You look at guys like Carlos Narvaez, who had the 3-run go-ahead homer last night, Anthony Siegler, even up at the AAA level, and Mickey Gasper and Rodolfo Duran. Guys are getting their opportunities. So Siegler able to crack the Double A level after a year, last year, which was really his first full season experience. So it's really really great to see his progression throughout the year. And I mean, one of 3 first round picks in the starting lineup for the Patriots. A few guys that the signed for a couple $1 million as international free agents in our starting nine. So Siegler's one of many very very impressive guys.
Yeah, I'd say that that Somerset Patriots lineup is probably one of the most talented lineups across the minor league levels. I mean, my co-host Ryan Garcia was talking about it yesterday. He's like, I feel like the Somerset Patriots lineup could go toe to toe with like a couple of major league rosters. I mean, we're not going to point out any names or call out any franchises, but we're looking at you, Cincinnati. Um, I will also ask you this: are there any guys that are in high A or low A with the Tarpons or with the Hudson Valley Renegades that are catching your eye that you think could potentially factor into being called up or are performing well enough that you think maybe late in this year will get a look from Somerset?
I mean, the first guy that's got to pop into your head is Spencer Jones, who has 3 homers, including 2 last night, and I think he's 9 for 18 with 7 RBI to start the season. First round pick, and he was expected to be a high climber. I mean, we're 4 days into the season, so
Yeah.
you could hold the horses back a little bit, but I'm definitely excited to see Spencer Jones' progression throughout the year. Drew Thorpe is another top pick from a couple years ago or last year rather, out of Cal Poly. He made his professional debut just the other day, had 8 strikeouts, allowed a home run on the first pitch of his professional career, and then I think he struck out the next 3 to end the inning. And
Damn.
he's impressed in camp. A lot of scouts. There's been a lot of buzz about him. Same thing with Chase Hampton, who was a pick last year, a pitcher making his debut in High A. A few names, and there's a lot of very, very talented arms, especially from last year's draft class. The Yankees drafted all 20 of their picks were college guys, and I believe 17 of them were pitchers. So this
Damn.
2022 draft class is getting their first real taste of professional baseball. A few of them starting their pro careers in High A, which is not an easy feat, especially in the Yankee system. So really excited to see that. Sean Herman in Low A is a name that pops into the head. He's probably relatively far out from Somerset, but he had an insane opening day performance, and I can promise you he will be making some waves in the Yankee system this year.
Very nice. That's sick. Now, this is what I love about this. I love minor league baseball so much because it's so fun to watch the progression of players, to watch them go through the different levels, to watch them fight off the ebbs and flows of minor league baseball. And then the reality of like, hey, if I continue to play well, my dream is still very much so achievable and within grasp of making it to the major leagues. All it takes is some hard work and due diligence, and you never know what's possible. That's the dream at the end of the day. That's what all these guys are doing there. That's what they're all trying to fight for. So I love to see that. The other question I had for you: are there any guys on the Somerset Patriots roster that you believe could be potentially
Up,
late
I
season
lost it.
factors for the Yankees? Or I guess I'll go a step below and talk about the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, if you think that they may be looking toward any guys from the Patriots roster right now.
Again, 4 games in, very, very early, but
I
um,
know it's early. I'm excited.
good. There's a lot to be excited about. There's quite a lot to be excited about. I mentioned the pitching staff in that 1, 2, 3. Richard Fitz just made his Double A debut the other day in his opening day start. So he's definitely gonna be climbing the organization. Probably definitely a bit to go. But Clayton Beater and Will Warren both spent a majority of last year in Double A. Beater spent all of last year at the Double A level. The first half with the Tulsa Drillers, the Dodgers Double A affiliate, and then he came over in the Joey Gallo trade and was lights out in Somerset. I mean, he was one of the most fun pitchers to watch in all of minor league baseball. When he was dominant, and he was dominant in his opening days or his opening weekend start as well. 4 1/3, 7 Ks. Adding a changeup to the arsenal as well, and he's being stretched out as a starter. So with the Dodgers, he was an opener and reliever. Never went more than 3 innings in his professional career. And when he came over to the Yankees, they immediately said, "Hey, we love your stuff. You're a starter in our eyes." And he said, "Fire me up, let's go." So he stretched out the pitch count. Has been working as a starter, slowly but surely progressed last year. Towards the end of last season, started working into the 5th inning, and that was really just about it. But this was his first spring training and his first off season as a starter, where you can really get in the lab, you can really wait those 5 or 6 days before throwing, get in a routine, get that pitch count up. Clayton Beater's really confident coming into this year that he can do some damage. And I mean, what we saw in Double A Somerset last year in the second half of the season after the trade deadline, if you think Clayton Beater is more confident in himself than he was in the second half of last year, I think he's going to do some damage. He's definitely a name that pops up in the head. Same thing with Will Warren. Or on the second night of the season, game 2, 5 2/3, no runs, 2 hits, 8 Ks. He
Didn't he
was
learn a new
lights
pitch
out.
as well? Hasn't he been throwing a new pitch as well?
So his main Will's main focus this offseason was eye level. He was mainly sinker slider guy, worked down in the zone a lot, got a lot of ground balls. Some of those ground balls were hard hit, and Will said, and the Yankees said, we want to rack up those strikeout numbers as well. Wasn't getting as many swings and misses as he wanted. A lot of balls were still being put into play. Granted, weekly hit, a lot of ground balls in the infield, very high ground ball rate, but he wanted to work up in the zone a lot more, get a lot more strikeouts. And in order to work up in the zone, kind of tweaked his fastball a little bit. He has a two seam, that's sinker, but not now a four seam that he works up in the zone with a lot as well. He's been dialing up to 97, 98, worked on getting the velocity up. Also added a cutter to change with eye level, uses it a lot to lefties, and he's using that a lot up in the zone. So Will Warren making some big time adjustments. And after the year he had last year, again, another guy making adjustments who's more confident this year than he did last year. Will Warren's a lot of fun to watch. He was a fast riser last year, only was in high A for 3 or 4 weeks at the beginning of the season, and that was his professional debut as well.
Yeah.
That was his only taste of professional baseball. And 4 weeks into his professional career, he's in Double A. That's not an easy feat, and that says how much the Yankees love Will Warren internally, and people are going to start to love him externally as well.
Hell yeah. No, that's what we love to hear. This is exciting stuff. I love
I
hearing little
will.
prospect. What's up, Eli?
Well, I didn't get to. I was talking about the pitchers. I almost got caught up in the question because I want to talk about the outfield
Ah,
in
yes, sir.
Somerset. And you've got four outfielders on the roster right now: Brandon Lockridge, Jason Rosario, Jason Dominguez, Everson Pereira. Pereira and Dominguez both in the top six Yankees prospects. Obviously, guys to keep an eye on. And then you look at Rosario, who was a top 30 prospect for a lot of his career with the Padres and the Red Sox, was DFA'd by the Red Sox, picked up off waivers, had a very, very good year, a very sleeper year at Double A last year. He's been our four hitter at the beginning of the season through four
Ooh.
games in Somerset. And Brandon Lockridge as well, who, his goal for the season is to steal 50 bases.
Yeah, speed
He
demon.
he's a speed demon. And there's a lot of position battles in that outfield. You look at the AAA level, Estevan Florial with a pair of homers last night. Billy McKinney up there making some waves. Elijah Dunham making some waves. There's so much competition at the Double and AAA level, and there's that log jam of outfielders. You look at Spencer Jones, who I mentioned earlier in this episode as well, potentially coming up. There's going to be movement. There's bound to be movement at that upper levels. It's going to be hard for a guy like Pereira or Dominguez to make it to AAA, given what the roster looks like right now. There's going to be some movement. There's going to have to be at
Yeah.
some point, but those are all guys that are candidates. And there's such a talented Patriots roster. There's a lot of guys that are going to get bumped up at some point.
No, that's awesome, man. That's the dream right there. I mean, at the end of the day, all you can do is just continue to work hard and play your ass off essentially until it's like, maybe some things in the dominance may fall as they may, and then you could maybe, get lucky and you'll get up there. But they're all putting in the work, and that's what you love to see. Every one of these guys wants to improve and get better and wants to benefit the Yankees organization as well as their individual careers, of course, because why wouldn't you? If you're not playing for yourself and you're only playing for the team, you got to have a little bit of a mix there, in my opinion. It's good to put the team first, of course, but you
Of
also
course.
got to have that confidence and that work ethic and mentality. So, Eli, I guess we'll kind of wrap up this episode here with any of your final closing thoughts on the Somerset Patriots season. Any of your, are you calling a championship right now? Are you calling the repeat early on? Or how, I don't know. I don't want to make you, put you on the spot here, but what are your kind of closing thoughts that you'd like to leave the Fireside Yankees fans with?
Well, this is a very, very talented Patriots team. I'm not necessarily the kind of guy who tr- calls a championship, but let's just say this is very much a championship caliber team. And obviously, a lot can happen over the course of the minor league baseball season. You look at promotions, trade deadline. We could have 28 different players than we started the year with 4 games into this season. Come the end of the season in the playoffs, but as of right now, this team is loaded, and I'm sure as some of those promotions come throughout the year to AAA, but as well as to AA from the lower levels, this team is just going to get even more stacked and even more loaded. So it's definitely special to watch. I mean, you look at the top three in our lineup at the moment: Trey Sweeney, Jason Dominguez, Everson Pereira, all top 7 prospects in the Yankees system. You
That's
look at our
nice.
1, 2, 3 in the rotation. Our 1, 2, 3 in the rotation are all top 15 prospects. In the top 6 pitching prospects in the Yankees system are in our rotation. So those are the kind of things to keep in mind. And I feel like there's been less eyes on the Yankee system since Anthony Volpe getting the promotion. Obviously, Peraza and Cabrera making waves at the major league and now AAA level a little bit as well. So there hasn't been as many eyes, as many chomping at the bit to get these guys up there. But fans should definitely know there's still a whole lot of crop left out on the farm for some chewing later on that are gonna
What
make
an
it up to the
analogy.
upper levels.
That was great. That was great. Whole lot of crop left at the farm. That was nice. That's gonna be the title of this video. A whole lot of crop left at the farm with Eli Fishman. Um, well, awesome, man. Once again, love it when you come on the channel. It's been fun having you once more. We have to get you on later in the season as well.
Of
Potentially,
course.
maybe we'll do a little right before the Futures game. We'll have you come on and talk about some potential Patriots that may make that game. And we'll do a little mid-season catch-up to see how the Patriots are looking. People love you on the channel, Eli. They always love having you come on. They know that you're an absolute baseball almanac. I believe I've called you that before. So I got to run it back right now. But, well, Eli, I guess we'll wrap this one up and let you get along with your day. As always, an absolute pleasure to talk with you, my man. And to all the Fireside Yankees fans out there that are watching this episode, make sure to like, comment, subscribe on this video. Check out all of our socials. Check out Eli's socials as well. The man's on Twitter, tweeting away stats about any minor league player you could dream of. And we are on Twitter as well, and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, all under the Fireside Yankees handle. So if you need more Yankees content, these are the two people to come to. Not me like individually, but like Fireside Yankees and Eli. So with that, I will say adieu to all of you out there. Peace, later, adios.